Hello, my name is Martinez. My ID is A011-77102. My partner's name is Siller Martinez, and his ID is A011-77334. We are both from Tec Vallarto. We got this project to understand better what is the exponential growth and decay and how it is used in real life. We got the opportunity to work with other prepas, and this is our project. The basic exponential function is fx equals to b to the x power. To see if it's an exponential decay or growth, you can look at the sign of the exponent, and you can look at the base number if it's a whole number or a fraction. An exponential growth is the increase in a number or size at a constantly growing rate. It is one possible result of a reinforcing feedback loop that makes a population or system grow by increasingly higher amounts. It is an exponential growth when b is greater than 1 or has a positive exponent. There is a horizontal asymptote of y equals to 0. The range is 0 to infinity in all of them. It doesn't have a horizontal asymptote. The reference point is 0, 1. The domain is negative infinity to infinity. It is increasing from negative. An exponential decay describes the process of reducing an amount by a consistent percentage rate over a period of time. An exponential decay is when b is from 0 to 1 or has a negative exponent. It has a negative slope. It is decreasing from negative infinity to infinity. There is a horizontal asymptote of y equals 0. The range is 0 to infinity. An example in real life of the exponential decay and growth is in the accident of Chernobyl in 1986. It took place at a nuclear power plant in Ukraine. The biggest problem that comes with nuclear power is how to get rid of the radioactive waste that is generated during the nuclear fission. Radioactive waste cannot be disposed of by conventional means. This is because of some of the forms of radioactive waste remain radioactive for hundreds or even thousands of years. This presents a tremendous challenge when it comes to proper disposal. Long-term nuclear storage facilities must be located in stable geological locations that are not prone to flooding or natural disasters. It hasn't been possible to contain the nuclear energy and substances generated by the nuclear reaction explosion because there's no way to stop the radiation spread of an explosion because of the nuclear chain reaction that generate an exponential growth of the atoms.
Exposure to radiation is what makes nuclear energy to be so dangerous. If a person were exposed to a significant amount of radiation over a period of time, this exposure could damage body cells and lead to cancer. If a person were to be exposed to an acute dose of high levels of radiation, the result would be radiation sickness. The nuclear chain reaction acts as an exponential growth of the atoms due to a process in which the neutrons released in the fission produce an additional fission in the at least one additional nucleus. This nucleus, in turn, produces neutrons, and the process repeats itself. The zone will never be completely clean. It will not be possible to completely remove the radiation, such as an exponential decay having an asymptote of 0. The implications of using nuclear energy are the problem of radioactive waste, high risk of accidents. The energy source of the nuclear energy is uranium. The nuclear power plants are also targets of terrorist attacks.
We don't consider nuclear energy to be clean energy because even though it is the largest source of electricity that doesn't emit any air pollution and the only one that can produce large amounts of electricity around the clock, it affects the environment negatively. We are aware that Mexico has two nuclear reactors generating almost 4% of its electricity. Its nuclear energy power plant is called Laguna Verde Nuclear Power Plant, located in Alto Lucero, Veracruz, Mexico.
We think that just like any other type of energy source, the nuclear energy plant has its disadvantages and risks, and we do agree to have it because it produces energy in Mexico. Chernobyl nuclear disaster could have been prevented, but not without the information and technology that we now have. There was no way to stop the radiation spread of an explosion because of the nuclear chain reaction that generated an exponential growth of the atoms. The radioactive pollution did not reach Mexico because it only affected as far as Western Europe.
The consequences of nuclear disasters and use of nuclear weapons can be seen in the plants because they can lose their productive abilities, therefore they die. There were many deaths after this. There were about 4,000 cases of thyroid cancer that had been diagnosed in exposed children. Conifers in about 10 square kilometers of forest close to the plant were killed by the high radiation levels, and the net environmental effect of the accident has been much greater biodiversity and abundance of species.
The solution for the use of nuclear weapons is to eliminate the use of nuclear weapons to prevent nuclear pollution and radiation.
An example of an exponential growth would be in the human population if the number of births and deaths per person per year were to remain at the current level. Another example could be a virus, like the chickenpox. Typically, it will spread exponentially at first, if no artificial immunization is available. Each infected person can infect multiple new people. In conclusion, we did not like working like this. There was a lot of confusion and it ended up working separately. There were some problems with the mails and they all got mixed up, and each team thought one team was leaving the other alone. So it was difficult and we did not like working with the teammates.